Welcome to a Blood Nebraska diary from Nebraska. I am actually on my way from California to Minnesota for a little bit of time, and this seemed like a good opportunity to do another one of these little kind of updates, share with you my journey. I'm in the middle of a small town, I won't say where, but there's a lot of towns in Nebraska that look pretty much like this. So, yeah. 3 things that are kind of important to update anyone watching this. I have 3 new songs that are now out. One is, I'm really excited about all 3 of them. They're all very diverse in their style, but the one I'm probably most excited about is one called Blood Money, and this is my biggest sonic, this new direction, my most abrasive, aggressive, but also chaotic and kind of insane piece called Blood Money.
You got a old country, new country pet on the bone. You got a black bush and you got somewhere in the middle. Oh, money, 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 not for you.
And another song called Wasteland, which I really love. The atmospheric, kind of dark ambient vibe that I put on it. The third song is a Elvis cover of Don't Be Cruel, and it's very much like the style that I did on a lot of my stuff on romance, that kind of dreamy. I slowed down the song Don't Be Cruel quite a bit.
Don't be cruel to one that's true.
And the other thing is just kind of life transition and leaving the desert for a little bit of time right after I played a really great show. And this was the 3rd show within a handful of months of being up there, and it was just awesome. It was so awesome. The venue is really cool as a private space. I'll share a few photos here, maybe a clip. And yeah, I love how the community comes out, supports artists. The community is a lot of artists. So we put on an awesome show. It was a new lineup for me, a new guitarist, new drummer than my last show. And it's just awesome. We had an extra element of the saxophone on this one. So the best response, I got a lot of positive responses, but the best one by far was, wow, I felt like I was living inside a David Lynch movie. And that was pretty much the vision and the approach. Not really to replicate David Lynch, but just to create that atmosphere of dark and textury, moody, and we really set the tone. So I don't know if there are any other artists watching this, but one of the things that I feel like has been really amazing to learn in moving Blood Nebraska forward with a lot of the vision that I have for my music is to cultivate the local community. And this might seem obvious, but I don't think it is as obvious as it used to be, because we're in the internet era and the social media era where everyone just kind of feels like you put it out to the World Wide Web and that's all that matters. You find your specific niche that way. And that is part of it. But there is something so much more powerful that I've found. If I were doing this in Los Angeles or other places, one, it's really hard to get people to show up in a bigger city. But if a smaller area that's supportive of artists, that might, this idea of being, this is a pejorative, so I don't mean it to sound like this, but I think you'll get the idea of being a bigger fish in a smaller pond isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially when you're growing something and cultivating that foundational audience that really helps you craft your, especially live shows. I think internet, obviously you can just put that out, but cultivating these experiences that make something really meaningful. And when people show up, I'm gonna give this car a second to pass me. And so people show up, and each show has gotten bigger, and I would say better. My reps as a performer and someone who really cultivates the energy and the connection with the audience, that improves. And I can see how I see a lot of smaller artists, independent artists, sort of neglect that. They feel like almost, it seems like they're just sort of like happy to put stuff out on the internet, making music they do. But there seems to be something really powerful about the live connection that we've been missing. And it's something I grew up, obviously, like in the 90s and stuff, going to shows. And a lot of times, too, you'd see a headliner act, but then an opener would kind of blow you away. And you'd become a fan of the opener. And I definitely know that still exists, but for the indie artists like myself, if there are any of you, these are great experiences. Awesome ways to experience my own music, but also experiment with the versions that I do. Like we did When the Body Breaks, we did Fire, and the Depeche Mode cover, I Feel You, with the saxophone. That's not on the recording, so it kind of inspires me to expand my own what I do with my recordings as well. So this is just a little update. It might be a while for my next update here, just because I'm going to be pretty wrapped up with a lot of work stuff. But I do have quite a few more songs in the pipeline ready to get mixed. One of them is the Depeche Mode cover of I Feel You, and a couple of, hopefully by the end of the year I have 5 more songs coming out. So make sure that if you haven't already, you're either on my Bandcamp or you're on, whatever app you use for music, you're subscribed to Blood Nebraska, subscribe here, and check out Blood Money, check out Wasteland, check out Don't Be Cruel, and if you have thoughts on those, I'd love to hear them. Hopefully the audio on this worked out okay. It's pretty windy. But the very last thing I want to mention is the Dead Lodge, my Patreon. So I have a Patreon, and I'll put a link below, and this is a way for you to support me broadly as an artist. For those of you who do know me, you know I do actually do a lot more than just music. Music is kind of my primary thrust right now, but I'm also a filmmaker, a photographer, a poet, a writer. And the Dead Lodge, my Patreon, is one, you will get early previews of Blood Nebraska songs, even demos. I have multiple things on there that I'll never put out. They're just sort of like rough demo versions of some songs, B-sides, things like that. But also photography, exclusive writing, and also I do some DJ mixes, so music mixes of really cool stuff, because I have pretty great taste, I think, under my kind of the vampire cowboy kind of persona. So anyway, if you want to support me as an artist as I continue to invest in Blood Nebraska, check out the Dead Lodge, and I'll see you in the next one of these.